have an age difference. We have life differences.
This is how you should live your life.
I got the faith, because to get the faith...
Got it. Well, let's jump into this.
This is the Old School, New School podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Old School, New School podcast. I am Will Charles Egan, and as always...
Chris Meekins.
If he sneezes during the podcast, he's been feeling sneezy and allergic to my presence,
yes,
I guess.
Oh my God.
And so we're excited that you're back. If you're on YouTube, as always, it would be a big help if you hit the subscribe button above Chris's head. If you're on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, or any of the other weird ones, you can also subscribe. We would greatly appreciate that.
We would.
So, how was your week,
Good.
Chris?
Had a good week. Nothing going on over here, man.
Really?
Just,
Are you
father-in-law stuff and
yeah.
trying to figure out this whole identity thing.
Yeah. Are you living at a 10, Chris?
No. I probably lived at it.
You should be.
I went to the doctors this week, and I went and got a blood draw. And the doctor, when they call you up, they go, "Your sugar is like so high. Are you alive?" And so I went on a binge every day this week.
Well, that would be why.
Ice cream,
Really?
cake.
When
the doctor called with my sugar level, I had a upside down cake and
in your hands.
No, I had already bought it, and some other cake from Detweiler's. They're
Yeah.
so good. They're all made from scratch.
I know. The pumpkin season stuff from
So
Detweiler's.
I brought it to the car wash and gave it to the workers.
Well, that's good. Look at you. This is development,
Yeah,
Chris.
I'm growing.
It's growth.
I'm growth.
That's very cute.
I'm growing right into my grave. So, did you go to church today and hear that?
I did.
We had this movie, which I've never even heard of before.
You've never heard of it either?
Never even
Oh,
heard of
okay,
it.
yeah. It's weird because I feel like a lot of them, they're typically like, Remember the Titans or something where it's like, you know it. Oh, yeah, of course.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. I had never heard of it, but because I was born in 2001. But today they picked a movie. I had heard of Morgan Freeman in this role.
Okay.
But I had never heard of or watched the movie. It was Invictus, which is Nelson Mandela and his story of the rugby team in 1995 winning the World Rugby Cup.
So it was more about the rugby team than the...
It was kind of both. It was Nelson Mandela, bringing unity to the country through the rugby team winning.
Okay.
And it was played by Morgan Freeman, Nelson Mandela. Great performance. I mean, I don't know if you ever...
he's so good.
He nailed it.
So good.
He nailed it. It was really cool. And the message, obviously, was forgiveness, and how Mandela, when he, brought together the apartheid state of South Africa, used forgiveness not like a we're going to get back at you, but like turning the other cheek per se, especially with the Afrikaans part of the rugby team wanted to rename it, give it different colors, a different symbol, as like we'll show the white people that this is our team now. And right. Nelson Mandela steps in and goes, no. We're keeping the colors and we're keeping the name because this name and these colors is so storied and it means a lot to people. So we're going to turn the other cheek, per se. We're going to keep these colors, which the people were saying, these colors and the logo of our team is a way that they've been oppressing us.
Yeah.
And we don't want this because it's a symbol of oppression.
Okay, hold on. Mm-hmm. So first of all, I'm sure there's some people that don't know who Nelson Mandela is.
Yes.
Who is he?
So he was elected in, I believe, 1990.
Well, who was he before that?
I don't. You were alive during that. I feel like you'd be more in a position to say.
He was in prison for being
right.
A political. What's it called when you're
dissident?
Yeah,
he was
so. I mean, he was in prison unlawfully.
Yeah,
25 years.
Yeah, they put him in prison for a very long time.
Right.
He was unlawfully convicted for being against the apartheid state in South Africa,
right.
And then he's released. Runs for president in the country,
right,
and wins.
I mean, it was like, I remember when that happened. It was
yeah.
like, I wonder what that's all about. But, I'm white,
right.
so.
And you live in America.
Yeah, I live in America, so I don't understand that.
Mm.
And so when he got out of prison,
right.
It was a big thing. I mean, it was worldwide news.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And so they end up running for president.
And he won.
Oh, and blacks were given opportunity to vote for the first time.
In that country.
Which is crazy when you think about that. They're in South Africa.
Yeah. 1990, South Africa.
Pretty sure that the majority of people in Africa are black.
I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the right to vote in South Africa up until 1990.
Right. I mean, they were part of the British Empire, right?
Yeah,
that's the British Empire.
I believe so. That's why it was. There's half white, half black population in South Africa, and so it's this huge contention in that part of the world.
So they were colonialized.
Yeah, they were.
And so,
yeah,
there was just a lot of white people lived down there.
A lot of white people that
ran the government.
Ran the government, oppressed the native population that had been there far before them. Yeah, and then Nelson Mandela comes in, having just said what we just said. After all of that, of course, the native African population would say, well, we want to show them, because now we have a black leader in power, and we want to show them this is what we're, give them a taste of their own medicine. And then Nelson Mandela, again, in the ultimate example of forgiveness, and they portrayed it beautifully in this movie, is no, we're not going to strike back. We're going to forgive them. We're going to peacefully coexist.
Well, I liked when they started the movie out as, they showed a clip of him getting out of prison. And then they show him walking the election, and then they show him walking into the Capitol. Mm-hmm. And everybody's packing up their boxes, and they're getting ready to leave. And he's like, what's going on here? And he says, I want a staff meeting with everybody. And it's like, you're welcome to stay here.
If you're white or black, you can stay.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I just ask you to do your best. And so, and then he made a couple references to get to our point. Mm-hmm. A couple of references as to we are the ones that have to forgive them first. Yeah. And so then Randy jumped in and started with Colossians 3:13, make allowances for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. And so that, when you're watching this, you're like, I'm pretty sure I couldn't do that.
Anyone, not just the people who it's easy to forgive. Well, I got to forgive my mom, or I got to forgive my sister because they're my family. No. Anyone who offends you. And offend
including oppressed you.
Offend doesn't just mean like they offended me conversationally. Like in this case, in this movie, oppression for decades based off of the color of your skin.
Yeah.
You're asked to forgive. That's crazy.
And again, we have
radical.
No clue.
Right.
To the extent of it.
Yeah.
Here in the United States.
Right. We have a movie depiction of it.
There might be people that have been oppressed. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying. But me as a guy living in Sarasota, I don't have a file for that.
It's not.
And so you're watching that. So they were talking about the key talking points. They were saying forgiveness is not a weakness. It's a strength under control. How Nelson Mandela forgave those who imprisoned him, choosing unity over revenge. Mm-hmm. And so that was what you're referring to.
Yeah, right? With the rugby team. He says, no, we're going to peacefully coexist. And they ended up going to win the World Cup through that peaceful unity. Yeah.
But I want to park a little bit on this next one. The connection between personal forgiveness and community healing.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I think it starts with personal forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And then as I forgive the people that are in my community heals. Does that?
Sure.
It starts personal.
Yeah. Forgiveness.
We think, okay, we as a whole group, we have to go down there and do this or do that. But that's not really how forgiveness works.
Michael Jackson, the astute poet, said, I'm starting with The Man in the Mirror. It's a Michael Jackson song where it's the whole point of what he's saying is, I'm going to start with me. It starts with a personal decision to change with myself, right? In the same way that at the movies pulls biblical truth out of secular movies, I'm pulling biblical truth out of Michael Jackson.
That's a stretch. But what you're saying is the verbiage is correct.
Yeah, the verbiage of you're going to have personal forgiveness, you and the brother or sister that offended you. That way the entire community can heal. A community heals by each individual making a conceited effort to forgive.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
And now we can end the podcast. That's really...
the whole time he was talking, and there's way more. We got 2 pages, but there's way more the whole time he was talking, I was like, man, we're talking about the United States. I wonder if he was like, I wonder if he was talking about us. Pastor Randy was talking about us today.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like with the issue of race relations and oppression. I mean, he mentioned the Jim Crow laws. He mentioned in like the United States, what they had with apartheid, we had here with Jim Crow laws. And so obviously it's not to the same extent now as it was back then. But yeah, when it comes to, I mean, there's all number of things, race aside, to be offended at when it comes to us versus them.
Right.
Political, obviously, skin color, what religion, right? Where you live, your sports team.
You know what I think? It's even in the it's harder in the middle of it. So yesterday, maybe the day before. Anyway, this week, one day when I was being angry, I was sitting at the pool and I was talking with this guy, and there was a couple of us, and I mentioned something about politics, and the guy, like, he agrees with my philosophy and my thinking, but is still somewhat offended by the person delivering the message. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if he didn't say this,
right,
and part of you want to say, I agree with you,
right,
but it's not easy because you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You're like watching.
I want to grit my teeth and punch him.
Yeah, you're watching. Okay.
It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
We can do whatever we want. So what I hear all the time is like people love what's happening in the country, but they don't like the way Trump talks.
Okay.
I mean, is that fair to say?
A lot of people think that, yes.
Yeah. And so it's hard getting on there. The problem is then, okay, if I end up wanting to be a debater with this guy, which the guy, I mean, he's like one of my favorite neighbors. The guy, I don't want to, I'm like, why did you bring that up? Because you kind of are in agreement with him, but you don't want to be in an argument in the middle of, and is it a forgiveness thing? It's not a forgiveness. He didn't do anything wrong. He has an opinion and everything else like that. And so we live in this world where everybody's so super sensitive, me being included. He probably doesn't even know, anything about it. It was probably more me.
Yeah.
All that to say is that having discussions with people, you may be both going, it's like when you're having an argument with your wife. We'd be in this argument, and I'm like, well, we're having the same idea. We're just saying it differently.
Right. We agree.
We agree here.
We're just yelling at each other.
And then what happens is I think the devil gets in the way we say it and saying, are you saying that I'm wrong? No, I'm saying I agree with you.
Here's the thing.
I'm just saying the way you're saying it is stupid. And which is why my wife is not talking with me either.
Yes. Do you want to know why you do that?
Why?
You want to hear some psychology?
Oh, boy.
So this is one of the many things that I learned in my bachelor's to psychology.
Woohoo.
The neural pathways to anger are some of the shortest that you have, as opposed to choosing peace, as opposed to choosing love, as opposed to choosing understanding. The quickest response in your emotional reaction is anger. And you could argue that's an evolutionary trait. It's a biological thing.
That be true, my friend. For me, I know.
For you specifically. But that's because, like, if we're talking about cavemen, you want to be constantly on high alert. You want to be constantly ready to defend. So the quickest thing that your brain needs to do is go into anger so I can stab you if you're going to threaten me and my family.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And we still have that caveman, I'm going to choose angry first. So you can agree with somebody, be completely on the same page or nearly on the same page. But it's easier to be angry at them as opposed to just, I'm going to be patient, put my pride aside, and say, I'm sorry, let me hear you. But you want to yell first because it's easier in your brain to do so. So you could blame that on.
Sounds like I'm talking to my teenagers when they were teenagers. I'm like, shut up.
So you could blame it and you can make the excuse like, well, that's just how your brain was programmed. I'm not supposed to. This is just how I am. But overcoming that.
But then I felt bad because I'm like, why did you even bring this up? Because it's like, we live in a world that is so full of contention. So I don't know what that has anything to do with what we're talking about. But
what it has to do with is it's the gut reaction. The reason why we're here is because people just want something to be angry about, and they don't want to forgive because it's you're forced to put aside your pride, you're forced to admit maybe you're wrong, or that what you did or how you reacted was wrong, and people don't want to give that up. They want to be, I'm right, and I don't want to forgive you.
And I think that, like, and I'm, again, because we're good friends, it's like there's nothing that, it's like, wait a minute, there's a part of this that you see differently. It's you're living in your filter. I have a filter that I look at you, and someone else has a filter they look at you.
Yeah.
And like your mom's like, oh my God, how can you say that about Will? I'm like, well, it's because it's absolutely true.
It's true. Even I'll
yeah,
admit.
but you don't understand. He didn't sleep last night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that in this world, we live in a place that there's such a short fuse. I guess all that to say that.
Well, there's
not that he got mad about. I was like, I felt bad because I stirred the pot.
Sure, and I think that kind of segues very, very nicely into segment 2. Unity starts with one choice, like we're talking about.
Yes.
How do I overcome this contention that we have in this world? Well, the forgiveness leads to unity. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
One of the great verses here. Obviously, 1 Corinthians 1:10, be united in mind and thought. Okay, great. But this is the kicker here. This is the kingdom of God is upside down. Philippians 2:4-5, look to the interest of others, have the same mindset as Christ. Because that's contrary to human mindset. Right. Look to the interest of yourself. But to have the interest of others is the mindset of Christ.
So does Christ doesn't go passive?
No.
Christ goes meek.
Hey.
And having a conversation with your friends.
Is that weakness?
No. Meek is not being an a-hole.
Meekins is not being an a-hole.
Well, meek is like, hey, yeah, I get it. I understand. I've heard what you're saying. But are you willing to take a look from this view that I have?
Mm-hmm. You want to know something funny? I have had this sales job now for a couple of months. I have learned to have way more effective conversations with people, just in general, with asking questions.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the whole thing about sales, is asking what questions or leaving open-ended statements or not finishing your sentence to allow them to step in. Yeah. And I've noticed myself, believe it or not, talking a lot less in conversation. Like, I'll ask them, like, is that because, like, do you go to the gym or... And I'll leave the question open because I'm finding that I get more, not because this is self-serving ultimately, but more people reveal themselves more when you ask them open-ended questions because I want to know more about you. And I find that the more and more I understand you, the easier we can go through unity. And so I found that in this sales job, I'm getting better at asking questions to like get to the root of who you are. What's your real why?
Yeah.
And I find that it's easier to get to people's their heart and their soul. That way I can understand where they're coming from. We can find unity.
Well, it's why people hang up on the person that says, hello, is this Will? Yes. La, 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 la. For 10 minutes, they don't take a breath. You're like,
right. This is your car's extended warranty. And you go, shut up.
So unity doesn't begin with the committee they talked about. It begins with a heart choice. And so that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
It's kind of
seek others before yourself.
The world we're figuring out right now is how do I make a heart choice without feeling like I've lost the art.
Like you're weak.
Like you're weak.
Like you've lost. Yeah. Like you're giving up ground.
Yeah.
Right. But like to earnestly seek out the interests of others, to hear them out, to understand them. It takes, like I said before, putting aside your pride. Because it surrenders the, like, I have to win this conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like people always say, because I'm so wise when it comes to marital counseling. People always say in marriage, it's not you versus your spouse. It's you and your spouse versus the problem. You seek to be together and in unity and aligned against the issue. It's not, I don't want to fight you. We have this thing that we're just missing on. We're not aligning on. Let's figure out how we can align together.
And the funny thing is, Joyce used to say this all the time when we had kids. It's like, it was like, I want to keep the relationship. And so, go back to the pool thing. I really enjoy this guy's company.
Yeah.
So at some point I was able to change the subject because I really don't want to argue about something that really means nothing. I have my opinion about what's going on anywhere
Right.
has nothing other than, I'm going to do this. I need your advice. I'm going to, go.
I'm going to yell my opinion into the void on Twitter, on X.
Yeah. So it was more about the relationship. And sometimes I have to be willing to say, okay, someone needs to be the bigger man. Not that this person even knew what was going on.
Right. Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, okay, you need to stop this because you want a relationship with this guy more than you want to talk about the president.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
What's more important here? Our marriage, friendship, brotherhood, sisterhood, family relationship, friendship, co-worker relationship. What's more important, that or winning this argument?
Right. So it begins with, like he was saying, one choice. Someone needs to make a choice here.
Yeah.
We have a saying, I tell Joyce, someone needs to be the bigger man here, so you're going to have to man up. But it's true. Someone needs to be the bigger person.
Yes.
I'll say person because we have other
bigger human.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then it went on to, you can't have unity without humility, right?
Right.
I mean, it's like it's part of the thing that we don't have in this world.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
How do you see it with younger people? Do you think that younger people, do you guys debate at all, or do you have like intense conversations? Old people do more because they don't care what anybody thinks. They're like, screw him, I don't care.
We'll just yell at each other at the pool.
Yeah.
I think young people, ultimately, at their core, and maybe not a lot will admit that, we're very concerned about what other people think. So that's why we have the whole influencer era where everybody has to portray this certain way. And so for some people, it's like, I'm going to be super macho, or I'm going to be like very non-confrontational. And so I think really with the younger people, there's a lot of discourse, but I don't think it's done in a very healthy or even intelligent way.
Okay.
I think just a lot of us are very lost and we're yelling a lot because it's much easier to be angry in the neural pathways than to be understanding.
And it's easier to just be around the people that you agree with.
Echo chamber.
So do you think that we as a people, we as Will and Chris.
Okay, us.
So we'll just say that we have to forgive all the people that we disagreed with in the last 5 years, because the last 5 years has been insane.
Right, yeah.
So do we just forgive them, even though they don't even know? So at church, when he was doing that, I was like, well, first of all, I have to pray to forgive, my church, because they make me mad. So,
Forgive the institution of Bayside.
Forget the institution of my old church. Forget the institution of traffic control. I mean, I've always had a hard time with the man.
Oh, I know you have.
And it doesn't matter who the man is.
There is a man that is higher than me that I'm going to shake my finger at.
When I'm crossing the crosswalk, the man that's not knowing that that's my crosswalk.
That's my
right
crosswalk.
Now.
I'm walking here, yeah.
And so, do you think people like us, it's like, okay, I'm going to have to learn how to forgive everybody? Is that the beginning of my freedom to be used by God?
It can be for some people. Like me personally, I don't harbor a lot of resentment because I'm perfect. No, but I'm not like whatever. But it's something that's a lot of the times not for the other person. The forgiveness can just be for you. Like we did an example today at church where we were given a sticky note on the way in, and you were to write somebody's name.
And they didn't give me one.
They didn't give
just
me one.
saying.
Of course they didn't.
Yeah,
because
they saw this. Oh, that's Chris. Don't give him one.
Yeah, of course. You
think
that.
Down all kinds of stuff on that thing. Go ahead.
But it was write a name or people's names on the sticky note and put it on the cross and then forgive them. that like you didn't go to their door, knock on it, and say, "Hey, I'd like to forgive you. Can we have an hour-long conversation?" The forgiveness was just between you and God,
Right.
For the other person. The other person wasn't even involved in the equation.
They need to know.
Right. But I need to tell them that I forgave them so I can be above them. It's like,
and they're like, "What the hell are you talking about? Forgive me for what?
yeah, I don't even remember
For
what you're
having
talking
a
about.
different opinion than me?"
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Because forgiveness, more than likely, for you, listener, is just between you and God about the other person. So you can forgive your father who's dead, even. How about that? Because that's just for you.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's a relationship hindrance that you have that affects your relationships with other people because you haven't forgiven somebody from years ago. And again, you don't have to go and say to their face, "I forgive you." A lot of the times, the forgiveness, I mean, go, it says in scripture, obviously, go and, talk to your brother, forgive them, or, go with two brothers. And if not, go with the church. And you do involve multiple people sometimes, but a lot of the times you forgive people in the secret place, right? In your prayer closet to get it out.
Totally off base.
Okay.
So why do you think that when two people are like kind of agreeing in one place, you end up in an argument with them? If sometimes, is it just because you want to debate with people, or you just got some hidden anger in your life that you're just...
It's the latter. It's the latter. If you're finding yourself in agreement with a person, but you're arguing, you have some deeper I'll tell you what it is. You have a deeper underlying resentment for that person that you haven't addressed in your conversation, or you're just pissed at the world and there's some bitterness and resentment that your father abandoned you or whatever.
Oh, you have
There's some unresolved something.
some mommy issues and daddy issues.
You don't argue with somebody that you agree on. Clearly something beneath the
Next.
surface is screwed up.
Romans 12:18.
You don't want to hear this, do you, Chris?
Live at peace as far as it depends on you. So we were talking about that. We were kind of like, and that's a biblical concept. It's so amazing that the Bible lines up to what's going on today.
Oh, it always has and always will. Absolutely.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's the best.
We were talking on Saturday. It's like, actually, science is catching up to the Bible.
Yeah. A lot of the times it is.
Oh.
Be transformed by the renewal of your mind,
Yeah.
neural plasticity and all those things.
So live at peace. And so we know that. 2 Corinthians said we are given the ministry of reconciliation. It's a ministry. It's a ministry.
It's a whole ministry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I just want to let you know, I want to have this relationship with you, even though you are fill in the blank. It's like, no, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
It's okay.
Because at the end of the day, which I do love about Bayside, is that at the end of the day, we point people to Jesus, and we point them to have a personal relationship.
Yeah, so shut your mouth, Chris. So shut your mouth, Chris, because ultimately you do agree with Bayside.
100%.
So why are you arguing with Bayside? Because your father left you? I'm telling you, you've got some deeper underlying resentment towards somebody somewhere that causes you to argue with the people you agree with.
Someday we'll talk about it. Not today.
You should talk about it right now.
No. And by the time, I'll be sitting there watching this message and even at the movies, and I'm thinking, man, this is good stuff. This is good stuff.
It is good stuff.
It's when my needs aren't met, like they don't acknowledge how awesome I am.
Right.
I usually have a problem by the end of the day.
We could go down this rabbit hole. How are your needs met? How do you feel? All right.
No, that's enough. I'm going to pull the rank card. I'm much older than you.
All right, fine.
Yeah, talk about
humility.
But for people like me that have a deep seated, there's some anger issues and that I've been so totally set free from. But every once in a while they just show up, and it's like you have to learn how to do that. Maybe that's why this message is today, because I needed to learn it.
You did.
Go figure. I go to church and I learn something.
Yeah.
They got to stop doing that. They got to
they're
quit
really
pointing the finger at me.
Good at their job.
They got to quit pointing their finger at my weaknesses.
I wish they would stop making me a better person.
Yes. Stop it.
Yeah, because you need to forgive somebody
Is that
somewhere.
crazy? Is that crazy?
Actually, it's not crazy. It's called God. He does that a lot.
Yes, God is so good.
Yes, he is.
God is so good. So, talking forgiveness shapes. Take it over. I can't talk anymore.
Forgiveness shapes. It's funny actually. I'm wearing a watch.
Oh my God.
It's an Invicta, and the movie that we had today is Invictus. Funny enough, that was totally unplanned. I just realized. Invicta. The movie was Invictus. Totally not sponsored. But the story of Invictus was, Mandela's leadership changed the nation's identity because of, a change in his leadership style.
Yeah.
How am I going to interact with other people? I'm going to set the example.
If you're the leader at your work, at your home, whatever, I mean, they're going to do what you do. We used to make jokes about our kids. We're like, you're going to turn out to be just like us. And they're like, no, we're not.
And then they did.
Yeah, they did. They still probably don't want to hear that.
No.
But it kind of also talked about what kind of legacy you're building. And for older people, you're like, okay, do I want to be known for always being an argument? There was a guy at the fire station. I mean, you could say that the sky was blue, and he would like, well, it's really not blue.
See,
and you're like,
exactly.
You want to just tell him.
He just wants to debate.
Yeah,
There's people like that, and you got to forgive them.
So, the faith. How do we have faith to forgive? Forgiveness is not a feeling; it's a faith decision. And so, again, go back. We said it earlier, but it's a decision.
Yeah.
So, have you had to make decisions in your young life about just where you're at today? Like, I mean, you're unique because you're an only child. Your parents were fairly normal.
Normal.
They did a good job.
I think so.
And I'm sure that they have I can think of a few mistakes they made over the years, which we all do.
Yeah.
But have you ever had to make decisions? Okay, if I'm going to go forward in my life,
right?
Are there people, places, and things that I have to release? You can even go to that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you, I was listening to, Tony Evans is?
Yeah. Oh, I like him.
Oh, he's one of my favorites right now.
Yeah.
I had no idea that his daughter is Priscilla Shirer.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what?
My wife loves her.
She's awesome, too. And I've been listening to his sermons a ton the past couple of days because I have just been, you get to a point where you're like, all right, God, I need to, focus on you again.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just get to a spot where you're like,
maybe that's what I should do.
Go figure. Let me read you a verse, Chris.
Oh, no.
I'm going to counsel you.
See how I got to deal? And then this is why old people don't like young people.
Remind me,
they have the right answers.
Tony Evans' message about, so you got me forgetting. I'll remember here in a second. But this is one of the biggest things that I've been learning about, pouring into God and recentering myself is James 4:7. It says, submit yourselves then to God. That's the first part, step 1. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you, right? So if we're to believe that the devil is the source of, and sin is the source of all evil in this world, causes...
Got my arms crossed.
Yeah, here we go. Unforgiveness, putting up barriers between you and me. First off, you have to submit yourself to God. Then resist the devil and he will flee from you. You can't just wake up and resist the devil and he will flee from you. First off, you have to submit yourself to God.
Yeah.
Because
if you need his power.
Right. Because if you get up and you're going, devil, you can't tempt me. You can't make me say this or think this. The devil's just laughing because it's just you versus him.
Yeah.
But if you submit yourself to God first, then resist the devil, now the devil has to deal with both you and God. That's a Tony Evans quote.
Goes back to our are you living at a 10?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Are
you starting?
This is not who I am.
Right.
This is who I am. And
are you pairing with
God?
That's
not how I act.
Yeah. What did you ask me before I went off on that tangent?
I don't know.
Okay, who cares?
Priscilla.
Tony Evans. Yeah, I've been.
What's his daughter's name?
Priscilla Shirer.
Shirer.
People just say Shire. Yeah.
She did a message on the guy that Nahum. Is it Nahum that dunked in the water? He was the
one of the prophets.
No, he went. He had leprosy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
was it Nahum?
I think so.
And so he went to him and he's like, hey, go and she has this message on that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And she's a woman and I love it. I mean, because I don't do good with women.
I can tell. He just turned all of our female viewers off. Thank you, Chris.
Not a true story. If there's anybody that refers to a woman, my wife.
Oh yeah, you're the king of that.
I'm the king of people like, shut up. I don't want to know what Joyce thinks. I want to know what you think. Right?
Well, I think what Joyce thinks. So
yeah. But sometimes it feels impossible. But faith steps forward before the feelings flow, and so making that decision to say, "I forgive you." Oh, I was asking you about are there any things in your life that you're working through that you need to, like forgive or forget or move on?
Yeah,
that happened, and
knowing
that if you're going to become I don't want to say responsible adult because that's like. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, right.
If you're going to become the man that God created you to be.
Out of 10, right.
Out of 10.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's a lot of, I remember now what I was going to say. Thank you for bringing that back up.
Well.
What does that look like? For me, it's the, admitting like, hey, I know that I'm straying from God because I'm not focusing my time and my efforts onto him. So I'm going to intentionally do nothing but like listen to sermons, pour into God, because if I'm to truly believe that if I seek, if I submit to God, seek the kingdom of God and all these things will be added unto you. If I submit myself, resist the devil and he will flee. I mean, that's pretty simple. I'm going to submit to God. I'm going to make a conceited effort to do nothing but like listen to sermons in the car, listen to worship music, study the Bible extra in my day, read more, not waste my life on YouTube videos. And believe it or not, when you pursue God, things go better for you.
Go figure.
Yeah. And I'm like, because one of the biggest things that I've had to release when I wanted to get at, that I've been learning from listening to these Tony Evans messages, there's this one, it's his most viewed video on his YouTube channel. If you want to find it, it's very easy. Just click on most popular. It's got like 5.7 million views. Is one of the things I've had to give up is my deep desire for like, I want to be free. I want to just do whatever I want. I want to be free. There's this great Frank Herbert quote that says, seek freedom and become captive to your desires, but seek discipline and there you will find your liberty.
Oh.
Yes. Oh.
So nice.
Because I want to be, I just want to be able to do anything and say anything and listen to anything and feel and still feel good. But why is it that when I'm listening to all my favorite things and doing all my favorite things, I don't feel good anymore? And this is one of the tricks of the devil, and this can tie into forgiveness if you give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
Is when he tempted Eve, he distracted her from all of the freedom that she had of the billions of trees that were in the garden, but said, but you can't have this one. God's holding out from you. Which turned her focus away from the 99.9% of all the trees that she had freedom to partake from, but focused on this one. And this is my mentality of like, well, I just want to be able to do whatever. And if there's a thing that I feel like I can't do, well, how can I need to figure out how I can do that and not let it bother me, because I want to be able to do whatever and not have it affect me in such a way. Because I'm will. And that's what I do. I do whatever I want. And that's the enemy tempting me like, well, you should be able to do anything that you want and not suffer the consequences from it. And that's one of the big things I've had to relinquish here in the past couple of days. And I know this is all very cerebral, but it's like, I can't just think or do or listen to anything I want and expect to feel and act the same. If I'm going to listen to Van Halen all day,
right,
I'm going to be an angry, aggressive, hyperactive spaz. But if I listen to Tony Evans for most of my day, if I choose to eat from the tree of life as opposed to, well, why can't I eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right?
Right.
That's going to lead me to be able to, okay, now I can strip all these chains off of me, because it's not about what I can't do, it's what I get to do.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I get to do 99 out of 100 of these things.
Yeah, that's very freeing.
And I'm like, this one thing Anna wants me to do.
And here I am trying to be this.
So that I don't screw up my life.
Exactly. I'm trying to be this rock and rebel.
I think I'll go ahead and take that one. Right?
I want to be the rebel. Well, I want to be able to do whatever I want. So I want to still eat from that one tree. And God's like, you have the access to all of these other ones. Why are you so concerned with this one that you can't?
And so I'll forgive these other people, but I'm not going to forgive this person. And that's where it is.
Yep.
It's living a life of forgiving. And in my case, it's living a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think that I've had victory other times. I just go in and out of it.
Yeah.
And so freedom and how do I say this? It's not about a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get a feeling. It's about a fact.
Right.
God doesn't deal with feelings. He deals with facts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we like feelings. We like that.
Yeah.
You know, but God's like, no, I forgave you, and just the same way you're supposed to forgive him.
Period.
Why is that? So I going to feel good? No. You're still going to feel bad that they did that, but you've forgiven them, and it's the freedom for you.
And now you can begin to walk in that freedom once you've forgiven them.
So he had one. Let's do real quick. He had one statement in there that about men. Why do you think men don't forgive?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to talk a little bit about like the whole, what we learned at Braveheart, lots of masks. It's the mask of strength.
Okay.
It's the inability to be vulnerable, because we think that forgiveness is being vulnerable and weak. So I'm going to portray as strong, and I'm going to put my walls up, and I'm not going to forgive because it's weak and it's sissy or whatever it looks like. And I think that's just a major failing of how we were raised, is this idea that men cannot and should not forgive, that they should always be at war. Right.
And just because you've forgiven someone doesn't mean you're giving them free rein to come in and keep on doing it. No, it's like, no, I got a key and you're locked out.
Yeah.
I forgive you for coming in and robbing my house, but guess what?
Right.
I changed the locks and I'm not giving you a key.
Boom.
Just saying.
It's not forgive and forget. It's forgive. and forgive.
And move on.
Move on.
Yeah.
I remember who you are. I'm going to just forgive you.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to harbor that resentment in my heart.
Right.
Which is how you harden your heart. But you've got to release that.
Yeah, I think
get it out of you.
I think men we tend to, like you said, we have these masks, and it's nothing like I'm going to put on this mask,
You don't know you're doing it.
You don't even know you're doing it. You're like, well, I do need to keep control of this family. It's even with your family.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, if I forgive them for what they've done, then they're gonna have control, and
they're gonna walk all over me.
Yeah, they're gonna walk all over me, and
yeah.
I don't know what to do other than to be angry. And so, forgive, and God will take care of the rest of the part. He will restore your heart.
Harboring resentment in you and not allowing it to be released ends in you punching your granite countertop and expecting good results to come from that, or your door or your fridge. Not that I've done those things ever, but anger is the byproduct of a harbored resentment that forgiveness can easily cure.
And when kind of wrapping it up, it was talking about forgiveness leads to unity. Unity shapes legacy, and so. How do you want to be remembered? Oh, yeah, you know what? They totally screwed her over, and she forgave them, and she moved on. Well, did they keep on? No, she forgave them, and she went on and had a life.
Yeah, she lived her life. She did.
Yeah. So if you want a legacy,
you
got to start with forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't wait for the other person. Be the one that starts the healing.
Ooh. Say that again.
Look, don't wait for the other person. Be the one who starts the healing.
You can't wait. Well, I'm waiting for him to say. I'm waiting for her to. Well, once she admits that. Well, once that. Again, you have to die to self a little bit. You got to put your pride aside, not expect anything from them, and say, "Listen, I understand that we have this argument. I'm wrong here, and I apologize, and I forgive you." And then. Once you've extended the olive branch, then that gives them much more comfortable room to respond and say, I forgive you as well.
And it starts with you saying, okay, Lord, I don't even know how to do that. And and I don't want to do that. Just say,
be honest.
I just don't want to do that. God starts when I was another story, but another day. God says it starts with you. And so he's okay with you saying, Lord, help me to be willing
Right.
to forgive Will for his insubordination.
Yes.
Or his, whatever, lack of, whatever. And so, but I don't even have the power to be willing to do that. And so it starts with, Lord, I want to be free.
Right. Help my unbelief. I love that verse. I believe it's in Mark where the man is pleading with Jesus. My son has been demon possessed. He throws himself into the fire and tries to drown himself. I know that you can heal. Jesus says, do you believe? Yes. Help my unbelief. So even in the Jesus, I want you and need you and believe you to do this. But even then, God, help me to get to the finish line in terms of believing that you can do this.
Yeah.
And God graciously provides that.
I think we should end with that because that's a great verse. Unless you got more.
I can read it. Read the actual verse.
Yeah, he's so fast. We were looking at something beforehand. He goes, you already have it saved, and I can't find it. He's like, I'll look it up and find it before you even do it.
Which, in fact, I did. All right. A man in the crowd answered, Teacher, I brought you my son, who is... This is Mark chapter 9, by the way, verse 17, and so on. Teacher, I brought you my son, who is possessed by a spirit that has robbed him of speech. Whenever it seizes him, it throws him to the ground. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. I asked your disciples to drive out the spirit, but they could not. Jesus replies, You unbelieving generation, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me. So they brought him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion. He fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, How long has he been like this? From childhood, he answered. It has often thrown him into the fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. If you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. Immediately the boy's father exclaimed, I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief. And then Jesus sent the spirit out.
That's awesome. So if you're struggling, ask Jesus. He's the answer.
Yeah.
You say, hey, Jesus, I don't know how to do this. Help me to do, and fill in the blank. Whether it's forgiveness, whether it's come to know you, whether it's, whatever. Mm-hmm. If you turn to Jesus, he's the answer, and he will set you free.
Amen. See you next week.
Bye.